Okay, now we're going to take out we're going to change the PTO fluid. We got to get to it first. So let's take off all this, squeeze that, lift that up. And let's go ahead and unclip it. We have to take the whole air box out. And this will give us the opportunity to clean the air filter. Two clamps held together with a Phillips head. Okay, so here's our look in. Looks like we have a little bit of oil blowing out of the carburetor. You look into that. Here's the here's how you, or the linkage. I just replaced this cable for the PTO. It had popped right behind the shift linkage. I mean the shifter up the front. And of course, here's how everything works. Once you pull that hammer, it puts tension on that belt. And these belts are cracking, so eventually they'll need to be replaced, but I'm not going to mess with that until they absolutely blow out. Here's our fill plug for our PTO. So let's go underneath and let's drain it real quick. So to make our lives easier, we're going to take the tire off to get to the PTO gear. And it's a good thing that I'm doing this because I just discovered that one of my lug nuts has disappeared. So it's always a good check. Now we have great access to see the check level, the drain, and the fill. So let's open up the fill and the drain, put a bucket, look at what I discovered while I was down here. This boot is ripped and torn up. And I want to say I've already tried to find the original ones of these and they're impossible. But I found some for a 350 Moto 4, and we're going to try and put those on there and see if those work. Drain bolt's going to be 19 millimeter. The check fill bolt is an 8 millimeter. Not bad. And here I am at the top, taking off the fill bolt. Let's be sure to clean the magnet and the threads. Looks like we need another lock washer. I don't even know if I have that many. Barely any metal shavings. They kind of glisteny glow, but no chunks. Everything looks like it's operating within specs. Okay, we've taken off the old lock washer, put the new one on, and this is the drain bolt, and it has been nicely cleaned up, so we can reinstall this and start refilling the fluid. Let's clean the mating surfaces at the bottom. And the tightening torque for this item is 17 foot-pounds. For the check bolt, I ran out of washers. This one does look corroded and damaged. It almost looks like there's an O-ring on there. We're going to order a new one, but this one can go back in because it's at the top of the fill level. But we need to get that one ordered because this one's in disarray. Let's clean it up as best we can and reinstall. Actually, this goes in last. Let's fill it with some fluid. And this requires standard gear oil. It says 80 weight. I've got 80 weight 90. And there it is. It's full. And it's puking its guts all over my wheels. I almost overfilled it. Just that little splash. Let's let that level out. And it says the fill specs is 0.014 or 0.015. 0.15. So when that levels out, it's going to be at the full mark, and then we'll cap it off. Look at how much I overfilled it. And all I did was a splash. So upon closer look at these PTO belts, I mean, the belt is still together, but it's pretty chewed up. So I'm thinking, while we have all this apart, let's just go ahead and replace it. And then we'll just keep these as a backup. And this is the tensioner, so we'll just make sure that it's nice and loose. And we're just going to slide them off. And if we need a little bit more tension off here, we can disconnect this. Let's see if we can do it one-handed while holding the camera. And how that goes. Okay, got it off that side. And now we have to unhook it from that pulley. There's one. And there's two. And let's take a look at them. I mean, they have cracking, but they could probably do one more season before they pop. Let's compare the old to the new. The new looks bigger, doesn't it? Wish I thought the old one was already kind of loose. So let's put them on and take a look. Oh, and by the way, this is part number 5LK330 or BK30. Whatever that means. And there's the dimensions. Oh, this is a lot harder than it looks. Okay, there it goes. The trick was just to pull it toward you with tension, and then there's like a brake cable in the way. Push that out, and then it popped in. And that belt just seems so drastically too loose. Look how they're all just coming off the pulley there. And then when you tighten it up, I mean, everything functions good there, but look, it pinched a little bit. It's not on the groove. Now it just dropped in. But all you have to do to adjust that is rearrange these right here. We'll have to move that bolt forward and then pull that line in, creating a little bit of drag or tension. So instead of it loosening all the way up here, it'll loosen to like there. And then move that second back bolt forward also. So these two have been moved up toward here, left and right. And then it'll put a little bit of tension on there to keep it from, I guess, dislodging. But we'll figure that out later. But that's how you would do that. Let's check on the PTO fluid again, because man, I overfilled the crap out of it. Just that little splash. It is still dripping out. Actually, it has slowed to near stop, so I think it's a good time to clog it or plug it up. Let's wipe our surfaces clean. Yeah, it's slowed pretty good. It's supposed to be level with this check hole. Checking bolt is torque is 7 foot-pounds. Yep, so it's like 7 pounds. Now let's reattach the fill bolt on the top with the new lock washer. Let's make sure we clean our surface. And everything so far has been 17 foot-pounds with this, so I'm willing to bet it's the same up here. But let's double check. It says drain plug, checking bolt. It doesn't show the top, it's not listed, so we'll do our 17. And then we made a mess when we overfilled it, so let's clean up all the loose oil so that mud doesn't stick to it. And then we have successfully completed the PTO oil change. What's the main lesson? Barely put any oil in there. Oh, other subsequent lessons is we discovered a torn boot. We replaced the belts while we were here. And we'll have a better look at the differential locker, which is damaged. Let's take a look at that real quick.